Okay, guys. So yesterday I tried to do this stream, and I was really running late for work, and also my stream cut out here, and the preview went dead. So I thought like they were like blocking my stream or something because I was trying to research this and search this one topic all night, and I kept trying to search for this voodoo magic that they do this resurrection ritual where they kill a goat and then it comes back to life 3 days later, and they give it like a concoction of this mixture of stuff. But I think it's the pufferfish venom that they've identified this one compound which does this, and it's called Tetrodotoxin. Tetrodotoxin. And it comes from this triggerfish and ocean sunfish or porcupine fish or a pufferfish. And this neurotoxin, it will basically stop your heart, or shut down your whole central nervous system, and you'll register as legally dead on an autopsy, and then you come back to life. So what could have been done? This is an old intelligence trick that's well known in intelligence circles, but not really well known to the public. I read about it in some books that I read way back in the day, and I also remember seeing this in a TV show or a movie, and someone pointed out the name of that movie in the last on the last video I tried to do on this as well. I think it's called. I forget the name of it, but someone might want to point that out again if they know the name of that movie. So anyways, this is my whole idea. It's not really a conspiracy theory yet, or a theory, but it's just something I'm working on investigating because this story is still new and it's fresh, and this is the most crucial time to investigate this angle. If this were the case that this happened, there might have been a body switch or something, because everyone's like, "What the heck is going on? Why is this guy dead?" And what happened? There's all these people leaving comments. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Is such a weird assertion when you think about it. The idea that there's a binary between believing all conspiracies and flat out rejecting the very concept of conspiracy in all circumstances. Right? It's been a polarizing effect. That's the whole use of the conspiracy theorist slur that has been. That's why it's been used. She hit the nail on the head. This is extraordinarily. Was he on suicide watch or was he not? If he was, how come he was able to commit suicide? So we've determined that he was taken off the suicide watch, I guess 12 days before this suicide happened. But who knows who he had access to or who had access to him during this time. What I also thought was interesting is I did this search where you can see where is President Trump today, and there's this calendar where you can see his public schedule and where he is, and where he's been. So interesting that he didn't do anything all weekend. He has no events publicly scheduled for the entire weekend. After Anthony Bourdain died when? Friday? Saturday? I think it was Friday. And Friday, President Trump flew to New York. Well, Epstein was in a jail in New York. And then the president doesn't do anything. He stays in Morris. He's in New Jersey, and now today I guess he's back in New Jersey. But he went to Pennsylvania. And went to Pittsburgh to go to this petrochemicals complex. But anyways, it's interesting. President Trump is, as people have pointed out, is possibly tied to and wrapped up in this whole Jeffrey Epstein scandal. So there may be like more strings being pulled at the top levels because of all the stuff that Epstein's circle touches. People don't really know who this Epstein guy is. I had a couple people like, "Oh, I haven't heard of this." So I'm like, "Why haven't I done any research on who Jeffrey Epstein is?" Well, I want to talk about some things, especially what's of interest to the viewers that are attracted to my channel, which are a lot of science people and people who want to talk about science stuff. So Tetrodotoxin, that's definitely a cool science topic. There's a bunch of videos and some research that people might want to do on that whole that link I sent and the description with the voodoo magic stuff and definitely some cool stuff there. But Jeffrey Epstein, apparently of a lot of the billionaire, he's a billionaire. He owned this island where he had brought pedophiles and other people, or he basically brought people along with parties, and then he had underage girls there that were very promiscuous and were model. He owned a bunch of modeling agencies, and he used these modeling agencies to recruit, like these prostitutes or young age prostitutes, basically promise. Probably it's just they're sucked up in the glamour of all this rich lifestyle and all this going on yachts and parties of like with expensive champagne and expensive drinks and just crazy stuff going on, and just absorbed in that lifestyle and told like, oh, you can be part of this, but you have to play along with the game and do you know have sex with Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton and other things. Who knows what else? But yeah, Trump's got a whole bunch of stuff like that. He's got several rape cases and allegations of sexual assaults and stuff like that. And a lot of the women were paid off in those cases, or the things happened. Those cases disappeared and went away. And there's no difference with this whole Epstein thing. Trump's tied up in it too, but what people don't know is Epstein was also a physicist. He has some technical background and training in mathematics, and he's a really smart guy. And he liked to paul around with scientists, lots of scientists, including none other than yours truly, Stephen Hawking. So he was interesting. He hung out with a lot of interesting fellows, which I found that to be very interesting, because I would want to dig more into the scientists that he was hanging around with, and who was in his circle and what kind of stuff that they were into, if it had anything related to what a lot of the billionaires might be discussing right now behind our back, such as we all know Bob Bigelow's discussing it and working on it and throwing money at it, but who else knows who what his investments and interests in science seem far from just a cursory. Yeah, so it's interesting, but I guess he was an actual physics and calculus teacher for high school. And there were some incidents with some young female students, I guess, which led to him retiring from that position. But anyways, he's definitely a weird dude, and was using underage girls to lure a lot of powerful people to. And kept diaries of all their interactions, and also like video surveillance, and probably built whole files on, probably invited people, powerful people, to this island, had underage girls there drinking, paid them to like, oh, if you sleep with this guy, your career will be made. You'll be in movies, and who knows what, like how it goes down there. They're at this billionaire island, meeting with movie stars and people from Hollywood, and all kinds of stuff is going on there. This is like to this better not get buried up. Like, it's so crazy what's going on in the media right now, because the media is just not touching it. It's the story of the century. There's so much meat here that it really is going to be the end of the mainstream media if they fail to report on all this, because the independent media, this is what I'm telling people, need to be digging into this kind of stuff. This is what I'm going to be digging into it a little bit. I know it's kind of almost, it's not a distraction, because there's so many other distractions from this. So this is definitely something worth looking into. And so if people out there, I'm just trying to take this angle. This guy was very powerful, very rich, very well connected. He could have easily faked his death. I pointed out one way that he could have easily done this. Registered as legally dead on an autopsy, and then come back to life and disappeared through a body switch, and then whatever happens to whatever happens, he better be on ice, and they better let all those victims like go there and identify his body and see him dead like a week from now. Like, you know, make sure it's really him and that he's dead. You know what I mean? Like, it almost seems like. But again, I read somewhere that he was related to this one of the scientists, one of the doctors who was doing and perfecting the face switch technology, so they can switch your face with somebody else. Um, there's a whole grotesque science to it, and this one surgeon was working on the whole thing, and he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So there's this whole theory going around now too, that Jeffrey Epstein could have they could have switched his face. So he gets the body double. The real Jeffrey Epstein disappears. They fly him to Israel or wherever else they think he's, being, held as, or allowed to retire. Maybe he's got another private island from some other billionaire somewhere that he's going there now. And on the way, he stops at some doctor's office. The surgeon gets the face switch operation and then goes to this new island where he can live out the rest of his days happily as just some 60-year-old burn victim, or whatever. Whoever knows what the heck they do. But so there's also the idea that, yeah, Jeffrey Bourdain was the body double, although he died a whole year ago. They would have had to keep him on ice for a whole year, man. That's kind of like a long time. Bourdain does kind of look like Epstein, and you know what I mean, a little bit. But again, Bourdain's like such a unique and he's Anthony Bourdain and the tattoos and everything. That's you know what I mean. It would be kind of hard to fake this guy as Jeffrey Epstein. There's so many other people they could use as a body double. All they have to do is look for reports of people out there who are getting mistaken identities of Jeffrey Epstein. He's been in the news for the past 3 months since that expose by that brown woman in the Miami Herald, was it? Who started this the whole public thing on this, got it really out to the public. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many other people out there that they could have, that's another angle people need to look at too. Is there anyone that really is a Anthony Bourdain lookalike out there that we could potentially find as a potential body switch double, and get the DNA evidence on this body before they bury it or cremate it or whatever, to make sure that Epstein, it's really Jeffrey Epstein, But anyways, no, they can't like completely take his brain out, and replant it in another body like that movie, in Avengers Endgame or whatever, like they try to do with that crystal chip and Vision's crystal chip. You know what I mean? But anyways, young men used to be way more hardcore and moral than today's modern 25-year-olds. I don't know, man. There are some pretty friggin' badass 25-year-olds out there. I don't know if you hang around military bases much, but anyways, reading through some of the comments here to see if anyone has any other information or leads on anything that I've been talking about here. But yeah, anyone have any information on kind of the science that he was into, or if there was anyone? He seems just like he was just generally interested in it. He doesn't seem like he was connected with and unless anyone can find Bigelow going there, or some of these other, or Hal Puthoff or Haish or some of these other guys. Oh yeah, I found this other dude through been reading a lot of the just going through a lot of the literature from Hal Puthoff stuff, and I found a couple papers he co-authored with some other scientists, and I've been reading their papers as well, just to see, like, just going back through all the literature, you know, trying to find all the scientists that Hal Puthoff has been connected with and has written papers with, and reading some of these guys, scientists. And man, this stuff is, I don't know how I didn't find this earlier. Because these papers have been out since like 1994. Some of them go back to, you know, the early 90s, and there's some real good stuff in here. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing a video on this stuff soon, and going into more detail on some of the stuff I've been finding with the real cool physics that I know a lot of my audience really is interested in, is here for. And also some of the debates. I don't really want to have debates. I want to get more of these. I want to get more of these scientists. I want to read more. First off, I want to study up more and learn more about all their theories, and then I'd like to go actually interview these guys. And this is crazy. This is like, it's a whole. Basically, it's the whole equivalence principle in general relativity, of gravitational and inertial mass. And why gravitational mass is the same as inertial mass, and if there's any way to modify that. And these guys have this whole formalism where it's basically a manifestation of zero-point energy in quantum mechanics. And it's really interesting. There's a whole debate going on too between that Mach effect and the Woodward-Hall effect, those Woodward-Hall guys. And what the real, because that's that Woodward-Hall stuff. If anyone's, that's some of the real old school anti-gravity effect. That's the Biefeld-Brown effect, without the Hall effect. Oops. The Woodward effect, yeah. So this Woodward effect is like, it's basically this negative mass thruster, or net motion. It was proposed by Woodward in 1990, though. So this stuff I've been finding goes right back to the 90s, when they really started hitting off with understanding these the principles of like quantum relativity. Yeah, quantum gravity. It's basically, this is like the overlap. This is the first discovery of this stuff. And so I've been, as a scientist, I'm really trying to go back and look at the real science. You know, there's so much disinformation that's been put out to cover up all the real science and all the real information out there. And it's really a shame that people are like, I see all this stuff dissing, you know, academics and like people who go to school, saying that you're indoctrinated into a wrong, like a, you know, a closed box way of thinking by going to school and studying, you know, things at a collegiate level and stuff. I see like memes about this, like, and they're posted in regards to me when I try to, you know, say, hey, well, I got a degree in science, you know, and people are like, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. Well, yeah, it kind of does, but, you know, like, it kind of gives me like a little bit of an edge on certain things, because I understand hundreds of years of scientific mistakes by like really smart people that have, like, you know, I studied all that stuff. You know, I'm trying to not make those mistakes in the future, and also trying to point out those mistakes and how they're being made again and again every single time by generations. Like, we think we understand science, but do we really understand science? And, you know, and going back on all the core axioms or core tenets of our belief system in science, and really, you know, examining those. And people don't understand what goes into, like, really learning and digging into you know, having a technical understanding of things. It's not like you don't get it by watching YouTube videos, man. You have to like really get off YouTube. Like, I just don't spend a lot of time on YouTube anymore at all. Like, I'm more interested in reading, you know, Wikipedia articles, going page to page, just learning about all this stuff's connected. great sources of information there too, but also like in the papers and in the Wikipedia articles too. And then you find these scientists, go to their pages, and you find their CV, which is a curriculum vitae, and that's very important for anyone who wants to get a good understanding of stuff. Is go look at the scientists, go look at what they've published, the kind of work that they do, and the people that they publish papers with, and go check out those scientists and stuff too. Man, this is how you learn about really cool stuff. So in any case, this whole Mach effect, they built some of these thrusters, this EM drive, and some of these thrusters and stuff, and they've been trying to figure out, like, well, what is this effect and how does it work, and there's all kinds of debates going on about, what it is and how it works. And it seems like there's this Woodward guy, the Mach effect, and there's this quantum vacuum non-relativistic QED, inertial reaction force kind of theory. And it's very interesting to digging into this, because I've never heard of this stuff, and I'm pretty deep. I consider myself pretty versed on the literature out there and stuff, but I'm just finding some of this stuff now. This is really good quality information here, and I'm really surprised with TTSA that they're not digging into more of the science and doing any of the science. The science seems to be like still super classified and still under a lot of debate and a lot of secrecy, and for obvious reason, because of everything that can be done with this, and the race towards being the first to develop it and know about it. So anyways, I had another video that I posted recently. I'll post this in the description too, about graphene. Graphene is apparently graphene and is another metamaterial that can be used to create these Dirac cones between the sheets of graphene. This is the video right here. If you do graphene and Dirac, these Dirac cones and these energy structures are key to getting the warp drive effect going, and the skin coatings that create this warp drive effect. But in any case, I'm going off on a tangent here now, talking about some real friggin' classified technologies, when I was just talking about Anthony Bourdain. But I like to drop little bombs, lead people in with this stuff, because they're already in the know. They already know something, and they want to know more if they're interested in this Jeffrey Bourdain stuff, man. But it goes. I mean, this Jeffrey Epstein. Anthony Bourdain. Maybe he is switched. I don't know. I think that it's definitely a possibility that he's been body switched, and we need to see, like, this needs to be investigated. People should be calling their senators and congressmen and like really demanding full out investigation into this, because this is serious, and this needs, like, a lot of people in the government are threatened by this, including Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, like both sides of the spectrum. People don't get it. It's crazy, because like all these right wingers are like jumping on it and being like, oh, Bill Clinton, he was on the Lolita Express, and they're trying to push this whole Hillary killed Epstein and that whole side of it, and they're just as clueless as the left wingers who are trying to be like, oh well, Trump has something to do with this because Epstein brought Trump to a pedophile island too, and Trump was all talking buddy with Epstein, and we know that Trump likes underage girls because of walking in the locker room at that Miss America pageant and everything, and it's a big mess, because it's like, no, you guys don't even understand, like, this is so much bigger and deeper than the stupid false left right ball game that they play with the public mind to like keep people entertained and busy and locked into this continuous two-party false dichotomy, false illusion of choice system that we have, you know. So it's just crazy, man. Like people out there have no idea. They don't even know. But oh yeah, that Montauk Project. I seen those guys, the guys from the Montauk Project who talk and stuff. Man, they seem like they're disinformation agents, like spreading some bullshit. Like a lot of that stuff is just craziness and silliness. But some of it is some of it might be more legit. You know, who knows what they really did out at Montauk, and who knows, like, I've heard about this portal technology. I've heard people talk about this portal technology. I've heard real serious credible scientists who swear by it and say that no, it's real and it exists. And I'm like, you know, I want to see the proof. I would love to see it. But you know, that's another idea that they got a portal. If they had portal technology though, why would they need the Lolita Express? You know, they could just build a portal to Pedophile Island, you know, and open it up in children's bedrooms, you know? Think about it. Or don't think about it. That give you fucking nightmares. Anyways, oh, this is too much fun. I gotta figure out. So I'm working right now. I gotta get my websites up. I'm getting rid of GoDaddy. They suck. They kept calling me up trying to, you know, tell me, they're trying to tell me that, like, I can save money, but they've been ripping, like, it's basically you've been ripping me off and you want to give me money back. And they get this whole thing. I'm on the wrong hosting service and I need to transfer all my hosting server over to their new server and their new hosting setup. But and it will cost me less money and I'll get some back, but I have to pay like a transfer fee for them to move and you know, shift all my websites and all my data over. And I don't know, I'm just like, I'm done with GoDaddy. They like suck. So I'm trying to find a new host. I found this other new host. I went to Bluehost actually. Another big hosting service out there, and Bluehost happened to have the I tried to register and move hoverbrothers.com to make that my main domain name at Bluehost, right? And when I did that, Bluehost said, no, Hover Brothers is already the main domain on another account, and you don't have access to that. And so now there's this whole issue with Bluehost because whoever owned Hover Brothers before I bought it in 2018 registered on Bluehost in 2016 with this hoverbrothers.com, and they have an account associated with that, and there's this whole ownership fuck up issue, and these guys are total idiots on there. They're like GoDaddy, at least it's in Arizona and there's like some smart techie people on the phone like who understand stuff, you know. Them, it's like they outsource all their shit to like India and and the people don't know shit that I call and I talk to, and they don't fucking help at all. And you can tell like this guy is like, yes, I do not give a fuck about your problem, and I'm like, you know, like, so that right there, I'm like, I'm ready to fucking cancel my service with Bluehost and try to find a new freaking host, because I don't know what the hell is going on with this Hover Brothers thing and why they won't give me my domain name, even though I provided like numerous, like I gave them like numerous documentation. This is my domain. I've proven this, and they just write me back this bullshit and like, and then you can pay us to do customer support and we'll walk you through the steps. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay you anything. I'm going to return my service and get a new host. And anyways, I need like to figure out this hosting service really soon and move my website and all my information over real soon, because I want to get rid of GoDaddy and I want to get my websites up, and I want to redo everything in WordPress or some other kind of new platform that isn't the HTML that I learned how to do back when I first learned how to do websites, and that's the way I do them now, which is why my alienscientist.com looks like it was built on you know, from straight out of 1999. So I've been trying to update this stuff. I want to get my whole website updated to a whole new format with, and just basically move all my content over to another platform and add more content, update content, edit some content. There's tons of work that needs to be done. Unfortunately, I'm working 5 to 7 days a week, every day, busting my ass at this fucking job. I'm making decent money, but I just realized like I'm gonna get freaking hit with taxes and have to pay a third of it back to the fucking government, or not pay a third of it back. The government's gonna steal a third of my income and use it for their terrorist friggin' operations and covering up fucking, you know, pedophile with friggin'. Oh my god, this should have been like what the FBI is doing there is probably friggin' getting rid of evidence. Um, it's just crazy. Like we can't trust anyone in our government anymore, and like I don't even know why I don't even want to pay my taxes. This like I want to like not file and just not pay my taxes, and just keep that money and just try to fight them when they go for it and come after me in 2 or 3 years. It's like you don't deserve this money. Like there's real like shit going on here, and it needs to be like exposed, and these people need to go fucking get exposed. Powerful people need to get friggin' taken down all over the world, and find out, because it wasn't just about the fucking kids that they had sex with on fucking Pedophile Island. It's about the strings that were then attached to them because of that, and how they've been pulled and manipulated for fucking years, and how these puppet masters have been controlling fucking all these powerful figures all over the world by saying, hey, I got this video of Trump fucking a 12-year-old, fucking, hey, Trump, I got a video of you fucking a 12-year-old. Like, you can't do shit. And, you know what I mean? It's that simple. It it just kills me, dude. Finally getting a little bit ahead in my life, and like they fucking took my away. Another thing I need to do is get my monetization back for my channel, so that I can do like the super chats, because so people can super chat, and I can be like, oh, I don't have to read through all these comments. They can super chat, so their comment can appear bigger. I can actually read their stuff, So I need to get my monetization back for my YouTube channel, but that was taken away thanks to this idiot. This idiot right here. This Jeremy Fournames is the reason my monetization for my channel is gone. He's the reason my channel got demonetized. Is this fucking moron right here. Because I posted a video debunking Bob Lazar, and a couple videos debunking the hell out of that lying piece of shit Bob Lazar. Not a physicist, fake physicist, didn't go to MIT, lied about his degrees and his academic credentials. Used to read science magazines back in the day, and so he knows how to bullshit his way around a science conversation and sound super smart with his glasses and his I'm Professor Fink kind of freaking personality and quirkiness. It works perfect for people who don't know anything about physics, but people who actually do know stuff about physics see right through that kind of bullshit. Your element 115 garbage. Oh my god. So Jeremy Corbell, this lying just liar, makes up lies. Very strange relationship with the truth this man has. But he's the reason I got all these copyright violations, and I can't. I need to get rid of that. I think it's been it needs to be like 6 months or something, and then I can reapply. So it's about time I can reapply. But it's just crazy. that set me back so much because I was making at least a little like 100 or 200 bucks a month is what I would literally make from my YouTube channel, and that little bit was helping. That little bit helps, but it's ridiculous. I watched Dolan do super chats and do his live streams, man, and that dude makes like $5,000 in a live stream, and it's like I watch the numbers and literally I'd sit there and tally and add it all up, and I'm amazed, and I don't think his information is half as deep or as good as the stuff that I'm talking about. It's just mine's on a different level that not a lot of people understand, and I don't know if I deserve to be paid for it because I'm not really like I mean, I dig into it to a certain extent, but I really want to get like I really want to talk to like PhDs and professors and stuff, but I don't have any funding to go and talk to those people and to go out there and do this stuff. It's like I'm fucking jammed, dude. Like they really fucked me, dude. These people, like whoever this guy works for, and the agencies that are pushing this Bob Lazar bullshit front center on Joe Rogan and everything right now, they really fucked my life up, like bad, like bad. I used to be able to do all right from like the shit I did online, but when you put like 10 years of effort and work into like something, and you build all this shit, and then it just gets destroyed in front of you, and like my forum, like that was making me about $2,000 a month. My forum was like on ads when it was at the height, and they crashed that and destroyed that back in like 2010, 2011, and then it's crazy, man. I want to do. There's a bunch of people working on some Lazar documentaries right now, like that are going to destroy Jeremy Corbell's Lazar documentary, and the stuff that I've already put out already has done some damage with my BobLazarDebunk.com. We've already just like got working on destroying this story and reversing the damage that this idiot liar has caused. But it's just ridiculous. He was the star at friggin' Alien Con last year, and I want to one up this motherfucker, and I want to go out to Alien Con and be the star at Alien Con this year, talking about some real shit, because those people there were pretty clueless and didn't belong up on a stage in front of thousands of people. While I sat there in a booth in the audience talking to passerbys who smirked and snickered at me. It was pretty bad. It was, I got a couple people though that did stop, that knew stuff, and they were interesting and talked to us that were cool. But man, it was a bad, it sickens me to watch people like this get attention and popularity when they're talking out of their rectum, literally big, smelly, hairy rectum. He's talking out of right there. It's fucking terrible. Disgusting. It really is. In any case, enough with that. With the Joe Rogan, still no friggin' clue on Bob Lazar. Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar. Anything new? No new news. Nope, he hasn't posted anything since June 20th. It's been over a month, and still there's been very few podcasts that have made really freaked him out. He's been so freaked out that he hasn't had a debunker on yet, or anyone who can sort this mess out for him yet. Joe, I'm right here, man. I've been blowing up your Twitter. I've been blowing up your Facebook. I don't know how else to get a hold of you. Like, I've had people go to your show who went on your show, drop this information to you. They said they talked to you directly. They said they went to you and they've spoken with you. I've seen your debunkers. They watched a couple of my videos. One of your debunkers, Mick West, is posting my Bob Lazar Debunked website around online, showing people it, He's debunking Bob too with the hand scanner things, man, on Twitter, and yet there's silence. There's nothing. what is going on? Like, as tough as you are, dude, like, you're bitching out on some shit, seriously, right now. Like, someone talked to you and they told you, oh no, you're going to push this Bob Lazar disinformation crap and you're going to shut your mouth. Like, is that what happened, Joe? Like, really? Like, there's no other explanation for this. Like, are you just brain dead? Like, you're going to have Bob on, but you're not going to talk to any debunkers or people, like, who've been, like, taught, like, blowing down your door on this. Who, me and Dan Bankert, who have done, like, 15 years of research into this case and, like, know it inside out and could, like, run Jeremy Corbell over with a bulldozer and then back up over him, like, with a steamroller. Kind of deal. Like, we know so much more about this case than Dan really knows way more than me, because he's just immersed in it. So, like, he immersed himself in it so much. But I've learned so much about it in the past 6 months just from talking to him and digging through stuff and really getting in on this ever since that documentary came out last December. And not even the 6 months. It's been more than that, 8 months. So, in any case, yeah, we're right here, Joe, and I know the word's gotten to you. I know the word's reached you, and we have no idea why you're just ignoring this and dropping the ball, and not talking about the real stuff. Because I could get on and talk to you about some real technology and show you some stuff, and I have papers and real news articles and real links to some real physics and all the stuff that we've been talking about on this channel. And I could break it down better than Tom DeLonge or Bob Lazar, that's for damn sure. But you'll never see me on your damn show. Why not? Can't handle the truth. Won't be able to handle a person like me. Yeah, I've been looking up someone to write a book with. I want to write. I decided, like, I need to either write a book or the website. I want to build my websites up, but it's again, it's like putting all this information out there for free, because I hate ads on websites, and I will never put ads on websites. But I almost feel like I need to get everything organized and write like a book and put together a whole UFO, like, how-to book of all the technologies and all descriptions and like a breakdown of everything. Like, but I want to make it like almost like a picture book, like an easy to access, breaking it down for people, but also like a reference guide, so it's not super deep and detailed on like everything, but just a reference of for where people can get more information and stuff. Yeah, so there's lots of questions about this, Epstein stuff. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein explained 3 days ago they knew. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Be more skeptical than that. Anyways, I'm not saying he did fake his own death or that, is trying to brew up new conspiracy theories, but it definitely seems like a plausible scenario, and there's ways to do it. And people should be aware of that and should be investigating that angle right now, because this man, with his kind of wealth and his kind of connections, could very easily be alive right now on a beach in Israel sipping friggin' martinis. Okay? With a new face. I'm telling you. Don't underestimate it. In any case, I wish I could get my I don't know what else do I really want to discuss here today. That was pretty much it. Yeah, he's playing around with some famous physicists and stuff. I'm going to dig more into this angle, definitely, and figure out, oh, so STEM science. Interesting. So, yeah, I bet you he's got the people, man, to change his face. changes hide his whole trail of his whole existence, man. I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures of the dead body or any kind of like real evidence. So I smell something going on. There's something going on weird. Gross. I don't know. I just don't know. I want to look through those lists. Where do people get that documentation for the files? Lolita Express. I don't know. I want to find what the unsealed documents. Anyone have where I can find the actual raw documents? Because I want to like look through the lists and find if there's any. I want to check all the physicists' names that are on there and really look into them and those people. That needs to be. I don't know. I almost want to outsource it to the internet. Anyone who feels obligated, go do this research for me, and then email it to me so I can. And I'll give you credit. I will. Always do. Even though half the time I see like people copying my shit and posting their own videos out there and they don't give me any credit, dude. Oh, constantly. And people who get hundreds of thousands of views. And I know that they watch me and like I'll post a video talking about something and then 3 days later it's like they got a video up talking about the same stuff. And it's like, dude, come on, please. What the heck? Anyways, I can't win in this world. I gotta figure out something. Anyone who knows like how to help me get my monetization back and really set up my YouTube channel, like I feel like I went away for it for a couple of years and then I'm trying to come back. I tried to come back and it's like I really need someone who's like super tech savvy and knows this stuff who could really like help me. I had another friend of mine who was super tech savvy, real good with computers and setting up any kind of thing on the computer real fast. And he used to help me with a lot of stuff. And he got into this whole esoteric, going to music festivals and taking hallucinogenic drugs and stuff, and he gotten this whole Terrence, he was watching all that Terrence McKenna stuff and all into that, and then he just went off the freaking deep end, and he takes like LSD every weekend, and freaking his brain's just like fried, and I can't, like, I'll never get him to help me with stuff. He just like ever again, because he's just like he's so far gone at this point, and it's really a shame to see like that happen to somebody who like was really otherwise really smart about stuff and careful, just not being careful and like being too gullible and believable about some of the things he was seeing out there and reading on the internet and stuff. But I don't know. I seen it firsthand and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I would be a liar if I said I never tried a hallucinogen myself. But I don't say that I got any sort of epiphanies or real satisfaction or any kind of like anything good that ever came out of it. I don't feel. I didn't get like that. I didn't have that feeling that some people get, like this whole reset me and all that stuff. No, it doesn't work the same on everybody, I guess. And from an outside perspective, watching it work on other people, it's kind of gives you better context and understanding of what's really going on with when you take that kind of stuff. But anyways, that's a side note, but it's a sad story because I lost a good friend, and I lost my like guy who used to do all my tech work and a lot of help with a lot of tech stuff. But I guess it's for the best, because I know there's someone out there who will probably watch this that knows some stuff about some stuff and has some tech ability and some time and some will to help me. I need to find like someone who can, because I'm sitting on a gold mine of a treasure trove of just information, and I have to like I need help from somebody like to help me monetize this, get my channel monetized, get my get this thing profitable so that I don't have to be working full time, busting my ass doing this shitty ass construction work. I like it, but I still at the same time it's like I should be putting more effort into getting information out there and doing research, man. There's this whole genre of information. It's all classified stuff, all classified intelligence information and scientific information, you know, and it's all the history of the science of the development of this warp drive technology and the stuff that's going to take us beyond, all these secret aircraft and stuff that people have been seeing and spawning for years. They run on this kind of physics and these understandings of this type of physics. This is so important to basically, what's going on right now is history's being rewritten. It really is. It's being rewritten. We're being told that all this technology came from aliens, that it was all reverse engineered from this Adams Project metamaterial. And metamaterials and the research into them have been, a lot older than, just finding like, we go back to the whole supposed, because I've revisited this and really thought about and got in some real interesting debates with some really smart people over this, because I really believe this whole theory that, yeah, we did recover shit at Roswell, and I've had some interesting debates with people that make me really question that whole supposition, the whole idea of this this metamaterial. Come on, not shopping, I want images. So they can make this stuff. They've made much more interesting and complicated optical materials that and nanomaterials. But this piece, there's been a whole debate over what this piece is and what it shows and what this image is that they've sent to investors. And but really, the core science of it, they're not talking about. They're showing this piece off, and they're talking about metamaterials. They're probably going to have this whole big thing coming out, and they'll debunk it, and nobody will talk about the stuff again or something. That's what I feel like is almost going on. It's like, why aren't these guys really digging into the science of the polaritons and the excitons and everything? This is like this is the understanding that they have and that they're putting out there is like, this is stuff that I was like onto 10 years ago. I was putting videos out like 10 years ago talking about like metamaterials and quasi-crystals and at like a very basic understanding level. I wasn't talking about like the real, like the polaritons and the excitons. I didn't really learn about until later, a couple of years ago, like maybe a year or two ago. And that's the real stuff, like that's the core physics of like how it works, is that pulling that negative vacuum energy states out of the vacuum, those Dirac cones. That video I want you guys to watch with the graphene and Dirac. Watch that video. In any case, I just I'm really upset and let down by what I thought could have some potential, and I'm just like, I have a lot of hope for what they were trying to do and what they said they're going to do. But man, like everything I've seen so far, I've been skeptical from the get-go. Like I said, putting out videos, just being like, what the hell is going on with Tom DeLonge and this? And why do they got this rock star head in charge of this? And I just don't understand. Like, I do an interview with me. I've reached out to Hal. I keep, you know, blowing up his Twitter and his email and stuff, but these guys just never respond to anybody. And I would never invest in this. Like, I can't trust it. Like, it looks like a rock star paying off an old debt, and the financial filings and everything else, and there's nothing in there about, you know, doing anything related to scientific research or development, you know. And they haven't been pushing science education, so that's been a big problem for me, is not seeing them push the science education, but instead pushing a lot of this threat stuff, you know, our mission. So yeah, their impact on humanity. So they're trying to give us, you know, a certain angle on the whole alien thing. That's really what's going on. UFOs, and they're trying to redefine the conversation, indeed. But it's, so far they're not pushing it in the direction. I know that the conversations that Hal Puthoff has about UFOs behind closed doors are much different than the conversations he's having with the public. And that's all I'm going to say. That needs to change, man. Well, in any case, I just opened a portal on your screen, and I'm going to end this stream here, guys, and I'm going to get ready to start going to work. So, peace out. Thanks for watching, and we'll be in touch. If you can help, reach out. TheAlienScientist@gmail.com.